Hello, it is February 14th, so I wanted to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day, and I also wanted to tell you about another holiday that's happening today on Valentine's Day. It's Ash Wednesday. Now, it might sound weird to say happy Ash Wednesday, because if you know anything about Ash Wednesday, it's not exactly a happy day. It is the first Wednesday after Mardi Gras, the celebration of Mardi Gras, into this season of what's known in the church as Lent. And so Ash Wednesday begins this period of time where we're supposed to think about Jesus' death on the cross. And so to remember Ash Wednesday, people will go to church, and pastors or ministers of the church will dip their fingers into real ashes. Do not mix the ashes with water. It will give burns. Mix the ashes maybe with a little bit of oil, sometimes just dry ashes. And we'll dip our fingers into the ashes and put the sign of the cross on people's forehead as they come forward. And the words that traditionally are used on Ash Wednesday is, remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Say that again. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. It's a really uplifting message for Valentine's Day, huh? So I wanted to, because we have this weird collision between the Hallmark holiday of love and expectation and jewelry and lingerie and candy and excess, running right into this church day that seems to conflict with everything that Valentine's Day stands for, of Ash Wednesday. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Remember your mortality. Remember that death is coming for all of us. No matter how many gifts or how much, esteem and influence you can establish in this lifetime, death is coming for us all. So we have these two holidays converging, and the message that I wanted to share in the midst of that is that maybe this year, on Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day, we can remember the importance of the coexistence of love and truth. And that as far as I'm concerned, and the faith in the Jesus who I believe in, who's been revealed to me, is that we really can't have one without the other. We cannot have love without truth. We cannot have truth without love. I think one of the problems that American Christians have been running into lately is that we're either not willing to have truth, we're not willing to have love. And we don't often put the two of them together in the same box. So I wanted to read to you a passage that might sound familiar, but a passage that we often take for granted. So 1 Corinthians 13, 4-6. The Apostle Paul writes, love is patient, love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Love rejoices in the truth. Now, I just told you that the truth that we remember in the church on Ash Wednesday is the truth that we're all going to die. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. I'm recording this message sitting next to my window, and you'll see our basketball hoop in the backyard, but maybe you also see that we don't have any snow on the ground here in Minnesota. Instead, there's a lot of dirt and dust. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. I remember as a kid being afraid hearing this message, but the older I get, I also realize that this message is full of love. It is that same dust that out of which grows life and hope and good things each year again in the spring. It is that same dust and dirt that reminds us that growth comes again and that life comes again after resurrection. And so we're going into this season of Lent, and we're going to think for the next 40 days up until Easter to remember that Jesus did die on the cross, and that the truth of Christianity is that we worship a Savior who died by capital punishment, a Savior who challenged the religious and political establishment, a Savior for whom love, God's love for us, was also rooted in truth, not in consumerism or amassing as much strength and power as we can, or by tricking other people, or by rudeness or envy or boasting or arrogance. We see a lot of that everywhere we go, especially on social media. Unfortunately, the church isn't immune. None of us are immune. Love is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but it rejoices in the truth. So on this Ash Wednesday and on this Valentine's Day, I want to invite you to join me in rejoicing in this truth, that we all are united together by the same dust and dirt that brings new life each spring. The same dust and dirt that was witness to Jesus' death on the cross in conviction and capital punishment. The same dust and dirt that was witness to Jesus' resurrection. On behalf not only of love and not only of truth, but of the two working together. I pray for you today that you receive both love and truth in your relationships and in your life today. I invite you to join me during this Lent season. Every Wednesday, I'm going to be giving just a brief video meditation on a text for the day. And those will be at my Substack. And we're going to continue to kind of journey together and to figure out how do we put love and truth together in our personal lives and also on a broader scale for the American church, for the global church, and even for American government as well. Thanks for watching. Happy Valentine's Day, and may God be with you this Ash Wednesday.
Ashes to ashes, from dust unto dust, the cross on our forehead, your promise, O God, ready us to follow the way of your Son, to rise from these ashes, redeemed in the fire of your love. Sound the trumpet in Zion.